Hi, everyone. Good morning. It is Easter break here, so my kids are home and I've promised them we're going to go for a walk, although it's quite windy. But you can tell I tanned a little bit because there is sun. It's out. Um, Today, the main thing is I woke up in the morning and I was like, I think we need to share openly how we're all feeling so that we can all know that we're in this together. And what do I mean by that? It's like when you are going through an influx of crazy emotions and no matter what you do, it just feels like it's not getting any better. It's like you can't get away from it. It's like a crazy amount of thoughts that are going through the mind. And you're feeling so deeply, and you're trying to do whatever you used to do in the past that would make you feel better. Even that isn't working anymore. When we share with each other that we're going through this, what happens is we all settle down and know that it's something larger than just my own personal world that feels just insane. My own personal inner world. And that is why I started these lives. Is for everyone to know and understand, even if you've been on the awakening journey for years. I've been on it since I was 20 years old, or 20 years old. It just unfolds and opens and new things happen and show up, and the awakening is constantly happening. It's just constantly rising. However, the time we're in now is really intense stuff. So if you have been in this journey, this spiritual awakening journey, this conscious awareness journey, you've been awakened from the dream world, you will notice that in the time we're at now, it is crazy intense. And all the types of modalities, techniques, and work you have tried, that has worked for you before, doesn't seem to work now. Because now we're not trying to get rid of these feelings. What is happening is these feelings are meant to be seen and heard. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because a lot of times, and this has happened to me always, where I look forward to when it ends, when I look forward to, when finally the spiritual awakening happens, like at its peak, when I'm enlightened, when whatever, I'm not going to feel any of those feelings anymore, right? I'm going to feel so much at peace. I'm not going to get stressed, anxious, frustrated, angry, depressed, isolated, alone. All these emotions I cannot stand. I will stop feeling them. And so it's like I'm trying to rush to the end result. The trick is, or the funny thing is that the thing that causes us so much distress and anxiety and sadness is that we're heading to that end result. It's like we have this end result, that this person that we're meant to be at the end, this future me, that is free of all the pain, is more clear-minded, knows where I'm heading, has my purpose aligned, doesn't feel those terrible feelings anymore, has cleared all the trauma, is more fulfilled consistently. Like there's this utopic image that we all have of what it will look like as we journey into towards enlightenment. That is where this from here to there, this is where the suffering occurs, right? And this, I'm talking to myself now too, right? This is where the suffering occurs, is the expectation that this is how it needs to look like. So let's evaluate, what is it that I think, you think, we all believe we're meant to reach so that we can feel more at peace? Because what I'm receiving and understanding right now deeply is that to be okay with all what we're feeling at the present moment in time is enlightenment. Like that is enlightenment itself. Enlightenment isn't, that is, some people have that, and these are like the grand teachers like Eckhart Tolle and some gurus and Kate Byron, where their thoughts were switched off. Like they don't believe their thoughts anymore. Like they know that these are thoughts talking, but they don't engage in thoughts anymore, right? And that's amazing. And I've pursued that always, to only come to realize that whatever's happening now, for me to be okay with the gunk I'm feeling and and that this is the collective energy, and like knowing that this is something larger than me that's working through me right now, and there's no end result. This is just part of the journey. This is just part of whatever is happening energetically in the world right now, and the massive shifts. Then I settle. And I figure out, okay, I'm fine. So the analogy that came to mind, I'm getting goosebumps, so that means I need to share this. So the analogy before I do this live that came to mind and that prompted me to do the live is, let's assume what it would be like if you are in an unhealthy relationship dynamics. You're unhappy in your relationship. You're in an unhealthy, I'm going to use unhealthy, right? In a toxic relationship. And you finally choose to leave. Like that decision happens. You say, I'm done with this. I can't breathe anymore. I don't know who I am. I've like lost my perspective on life. I'm sick of this and I'm leaving. And you choose to leave. And when you choose to leave, you're terrified. And yet there's a kind of, I'm going to do this. And there's an excitement for the freedom. And then there's an expectation that once I leave, first I'm afraid of being alone. I'm afraid of all the stuff. But there's an excitement that once I leave, life will blossom. I'll feel better. I'll be free, right? But that you're fluctuating between both. But you've now really decided to leave, and you leave. And you feel better. And you always feel better when you leave a toxic relationship, right? Because in it, you're constantly confused, you're sick, you don't know what is wrong with you. No matter what you do, you just can't be happy. You leave. And when you leave, the interesting part is that your whole system feels relaxed. You become more confident, you're self-assured, you're going down this path, and there's nothing that can sway you anymore. No amount of gaslighting, manipulation can sway you. This is outside of your feeling guilty, like the habitual identity that you develop due to this relationship, or maybe toxic parent relationship. But in general, there's a kind of relaxation, like you've started the journey. And this is very similar to the awakening journey, is where you take this decision that things need to change. And you start to, let's say you introduce meditation into your life, and you start to go into self-help, and you start your journey. Get to know who you are. You ask the question, who am I? What am I? Why am I here? And you start that journey. And there's a kind of a euphoric feeling, and there's a terrifying feeling. It's the same thing when you leave a toxic marriage or a toxic relationship of any kind. There's a period of time where you are in anguish. Okay? There's a period of time where you are really set and everything feels good. You know this is the right way. You feel different. But there's a time where you are looking for a home, finishing paperwork, on an adrenaline rush, fighting in court or not, or, negotiating and arguing. So there's a different kind of shadow that shows, right? Different kind of stuff. You go through self-doubt, I need to be nicer, I need to not, I need to do this, I'm leaving. Like you're in that thing, but you're now free, right? But there's a long period of time that you're going through this turmoil. You're discovering who you are alone outside of that. You're like in the fog of the manipulation, and you're deciphering things. You're trying to get back to you, right? And it's not a pleasant path, but it feels so much better than being in that relationship, even with all the upheaval in it. And then it lasts a while, and you keep wondering, when is it going to end? When am I going to do that? Well, it develops. You develop through that pain. You allow yourself to mourn the loss, to mourn the loss of the relationship, to mourn the loss of who you were, to mourn the loss of the comforts, even the abusive comforts you were in. You get to mourn these losses, right? And you sit with your feelings through it all, and you feel your guilt, and you feel your shame, and you feel your sadness. But now you're no more in the same world with this toxic partner. You are in your own world, right? So you don't have someone constantly bugging you where you can't heal, right? But you're purging all this pain, and it takes a while, right? And you're fixing your life, and you're getting a new home, and you're getting new things, and you're like disconnected. You're becoming a single person again. If you have kids, you're becoming a single parent, and you're taking care of kids. All this stuff starts to show up, and it still feels better than being in that relationship with all the gunk that comes. And that is the state of awakening. It feels better than being asleep. But the pain and the purging that we go through lasts. And we keep looking for the happy ending. Well, when I'm fixed and I'm fine, then I'll meet this other partner that will make me wonderful, that will make me feel better. Or I will get, whatever it is, the end goal, right? Which causes suffering during it because there's something I'm looking forward to. So I'm not in this wonder that I've actually awoken. And it's the same thing with the awakening journey. What is happening now is that everyone in the collective is being pushed to the limit, is being bugged to hell to see the wounds, because we also have our ancestral wounds in here. The planetary systems, if you talk to any astrologers of all kinds of astrology, it doesn't even matter what kind, they're all leading to the same thing. That the planets, the way they're moving, that the moons, that the this, and they're igniting, and they're opening, and they're shifting, and they're shifting, and the collective knows that there's so much more light coming in. People are waking up and saying, what is this world we're living in? What are these feelings that I have oppressed my whole entire life? Why am I so afraid of them? And that is what is happening. And if it keeps coming up over and over again, that is okay. It is very exhausting, right? And it's only exhausting when we try to get out of it. When we deem them wrong, when we don't believe that this is the process right now that Source has planned, when we cannot surrender to them. So a few days ago, this is before the full moon, 2 days before the full moon. So in general, since the pandemic, there has been upheaval, right? And I keep waiting. Okay, now it's going to end. Now the awakening. Everyone says light is coming in. When is it going to come in? And then I decided not to listen anymore because I'm like, you know what? This is causing a future expectation, meaning whatever I'm in now is not good. And something in the future is going to make it better. A personality, an idea in the future is going to make it better. So I'm never present in the now. I'm never here. I'm never available to how I'm feeling and being okay with how I'm feeling. Like just being okay, like fine, I feel like shit today. I'm sad. I feel it's been 2 weeks. I'm feeling sad and anxious and horrible. What about me relaxing into it? What about just being okay with feeling this way? So a few days ago that happened. I didn't know it was a full moon coming. I wasn't consciously aware of it. I've been so busy, and I've been so electrically busy like this. And then all of a sudden, I was so consumed by thoughts and this and that, and I couldn't sit still. Like I was over exaggerated, and emotions and pain and thoughts and pain and thoughts and pain. And oh my God, I was like, oh my, I was just like that. Like couldn't stop thinking, feeling all the pain, doing all of this. I'm so lonely. I'm so sad. None of it was true. All of it was stuff. Because my world outside hasn't really changed. It's my perception inside that was having a panic attack. And this went on for 2 days, 3 days, like it was there, but then accelerated. And then at some point I looked out and I'm like, what is going on? This is so unlike me right now, and it's so accelerated. I looked out and I saw the full moon, and I was like, oh, it's the full moon. I started to Google what's happening with the full moon now. Wow, and it was huge. And I just knew, even before I Googled, I'm like, oh, things that I haven't looked at or thought I looked at already are repurging, or there are deeper dynamics coming out. And that night, for the first time, just knowing that it was something larger than me that was causing all this mayhem, my whole nervous system relaxed. And I just fell on the couch, and that whole like busy relaxed. The thoughts subsided, and I completely went into a more peaceful state of surrender. So sometimes knowing that you're not the only one going through this really helps you say, it's the collective. I'm not alone in this. Because when we know we're not alone and that others are going through this, it really helps to know. I mean, I end up getting in touch with all my the people in the same work field as I am, like in the healing department, all kinds of departments, to friends that are not even in this department but are in the awakening, and I just touch base. I'm like, okay, oh, they're feeling it. Okay, now I get it, right? And so I'm here to just let you know when these things happen, that I'm here sharing with you. You're not alone in this. Whether it started in last year or this year or 2 weeks ago, you're not alone in this fluctuation of crazy energy that's happening. And it only means that when so much light is coming in, right? Whatever dark is in here needs to come out, because it wants to be seen. It's like it needs to have a spotlight on it. And for you not to argue with it or think there's something wrong with you. Please know there's nothing wrong with you. And you're not failing on your awakening journey. And you're not failing on your spirituality. And you didn't go backwards 100 years. And you're not starting from zero again. If you can surrender to the divine source, that the divine source, the creator of all, is taking care of you right now and taking care of all of us to free us, you'll feel so much better. You'll just be more at peace with knowing that there's nothing you need to decide upon right now. There's no choice you need to make right now. You can just be at peace right now with this madness, with this utmost madness. Because it is pretty intense. And it's going to be pretty intense for some time, right? Because we are leaving the older version of who we were, right? And who we identified ourselves to be. We are leaving that because this earth, the humans on the planet for centuries have been moving through the frequency of fear, which cannot hold us or sustain us anymore. It's like staying in a toxic relationship due to fear. That's why we all stay in a toxic relationship for so long. It's because we are afraid. And we stay in it because all our fears show up and we can't let go. No matter how horrible it is in there, no matter how much we start to even hate ourselves more and more, and even get angry at the partner and hate the partner, we still don't leave. Why? Because we're afraid. We're moving at the frequency of fear. And when we move at the frequency of fear, we do the stupidest things on the planet. We just become stupid people, aggressive people, angry people. We hurt ourselves, we hurt others because it's fear. So now all this stuff is coming out and we are releasing the fear paradigm. And this is how we release the fear paradigm. Just think of toxic relationships. To leave the fear paradigm and stand up and say, I will face the unknown no matter what happens or how scary it is. You face it and it feels nicer, but there's a lot to do, right? It feels nicer, but there's a lot to do. This is what we're all going through. I don't know when we're reaching, and it doesn't even matter anymore, because that little carrot where, okay, this month, next month, this month, next month, forget all that. Forget all of it, because that is still the old paradigm where now is not good, later is better. But what if now is perfect? What if all these feelings and feeling confused and overwhelmed and overtaken and anxious and weird is fine? It's fine. What if it's just fine? Fine. It's okay. I can be all this and still live. I can be all these feelings and still exist. I can be all these feelings and still do things. So what happened was, I was like, fine. I can be anxious. I can be stressed. I can feel overwhelmed. I can feel alone. I can feel like nothing makes sense. I can feel whatever I'm feeling. And I'll still go meet those friends, or I'll still do this, or I'll still whatever. With those, I don't have to feel better to do all this. I'll keep this. I'll be this. This is my now. And I'll still pursue whatever I want to pursue. And that's okay. And what happened is it just became more peaceful, in a sense. I wasn't busy trying to figure out why I'm feeling this way and what I need to release and work through. I just let it be there. So sometimes letting things be as they are is leaving the old paradigm, because the old paradigm would say feeling bad, feeling anxious, feeling sad, feeling depressed, feeling alone, all this is bad. It's bad. You got to stay away from it. And of course, our minds don't want us to feel that way. This is the protective, egoic kind of mind, right? It talks crap to us. It makes us feel bad about whether we are feeling good. They'll be like, oh, the bad is coming. Or if we're feeling bad, it's like, oh, of course you deserve to feel bad, right? Figure it out. So you're doing something wrong, right? And if we let go of that for just a moment, and say, okay, I'm allowed to feel bad. Let me feel bad. So what? I feel bad. I feel lonely. I feel alone. I'm going to feel alone and lonely and paint. I'm going to feel alone and lonely and meet my friends. I'm going to feel sad and yuck and gross and go have a cup of coffee or sit in a work or meditate. Or even though I was having a hard time meditating, I've been meditating for years, but I was having a hard time meditating. So I decided to walk. And I remember Kyle C saying that he walks around a lot, and I'm like, I'm going to try that. So I couldn't sit. I was antsy, and I couldn't meditate like 20 minutes into it, and I'm still antsy. I'm like, wait, the body needs to move. The body needs to move. So instead of like saying, bad, you should know how to meditate. You've been meditating for years. Don't you know it? Now you know Kriya meditation. Now you know this. You have like 1,000 meditation systems in your body. You know them. You got to do it. I was like, isn't that what the body wants right now? It's too antsy and it needs to release something. So I would go for a walk. I'd listen to music or in silence or look at the sky and just bring me back through walking. So the body was doing the action and I was doing the breathing and the meditation as I walked. So it's not always like, don't stick to something specific thinking that's the only way to do something. Follow the guidance you have, right? Follow the body in a sense, like listen a little bit deeper, or don't oppose. Like the minute you notice you're putting yourself down for something, even if it's meditation, like you haven't meditated today, you suck. That's why you're feeling bad. Just listen to that and be like, these are thoughts. That's just something else that's putting me down, that's adding to my angst. What else can I do that would bring me back? Just bring me back to being okay with whatever I'm feeling. Could be walking. It really could be, but it's something more in the alone department. It could be painting. It could be something that doesn't acquire the meditative state, but could acquire movement that brings you into a meditative state. Could be dance, music, just uplift, open your body and be with it. So I'm just sharing all this with you because I know how intense it is now. And even if you've been feeling your feelings for a long time, right now it's really intense, and that's okay. We're all in it. You're not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone, my loves. And please feel free to send me messages privately if you want, and to express how you feel. Leave in the comments. I mean, everybody would love to hear that, it's important to share the truth, your authentic truth. Like there's no identity you have to hold on to. Like I have been doing this for 15 years. I'm a spiritual transformational practitioner. Does not mean I don't feel this. There's no shame in sharing that even though I know how to make people feel 1,000 times better, I'm still going through my crap too. And I get confused and I wake up to it, and then I can make myself feel better. It is normal, right? There's no identity. The ego wants to hold to an identity that, but I'm really good. I shouldn't be feeling these things, or I don't want to share it so that I'm not shamed, or I feel less of myself. Share. Everyone share how you're feeling authentically, because it helps at least one person to feel they're not alone. So feel free to share in the comments. You don't have to share everything. You could just say you're feeling it also. And just so that we can all know that we are all fine, right? And it's okay for us to feel this way. And there's nothing wrong with you. Nothing wrong with you for feeling what you're feeling. Nothing you need to solve or do. There is nothing you need to solve or do. Just be with it. Just be with it and trust the divine. Trust that Source is really taking care of you completely. And this is exactly what you're meant to feel right now at this moment in time. And just let yourself know it is okay. Just keep telling yourself, it is okay that you feel this way right now. It is okay that you feel this way right now. It is okay that I feel this way right now. It's okay. It's all you need to do. So I'm excited to also share that really soon, and I want to keep repeating this so you know, from anxiety to peace, 3-day live workshop will be available for you to register really soon. Doing the last bits, fixing everything up so that you can have ease in logging in and in checking it out and looking at everything, so that it would be easy, the easiest possible way for you to come in here and actually enjoy a deep dive to release you from anxiety and into peace, to know the tricks of the trade, to know exactly what to do, little tools, techniques, ways, understandings, awakenings, openings. It's going to be so much fun to do this for 3 days with you all. So take care of yourselves, keep your eyes purest open, and just say yes to it. Okay, I love you all. You are not alone. We're all going through this, even though I have a smile on my face because I'm feeling the feelings and I'm like okay with them. So I'm feeling a lot better as all this is happening. I love you all dearly. Take care. Have a beautiful Thanksgiving. Beautiful Ramadan for everyone in Ramadan. I hope you are fasting. Your fasting is going well and beautiful for you. Take beautiful care of yourself. Beautiful, beautiful, amazing souls. I love you dearly, purely, and lovingly.